Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. As always, if you're new to the channel, this is Wind Waker Unflooded, a 3D modeling fan art project where we are reimagining the Kingdom of Hyrule within the art style of The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Of course, if you've played The Wind Waker, you know that all the islands of the Great Sea and its overworld are really the mountaintops of a flooded version of Hyrule, as seen previously in games like Ocarina of Time, and seen since in entries like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But we never got to really explore this game's version of Hyrule. We see a small area around Hyrule Castle beneath the waves, but most of the world that so many of us wanted desperately to explore was simply left to the imagination, until now. I'm Joe Kendrick, a filmmaker and musician who's been a fan of this game and this series since I was a kid, and using Blender, a 3D modeling software, have now embarked on a journey to fully bring this world that we never got to see to life. This is your familiar land of Hyrule as you've never seen it before. You're watching Wind Waker Unflooded. I'll go ahead and say before we get started, comment down below any feedback, ideas, or criticism you have of the project or of my content. Your ideas continue to inspire me and help make this project possible. And if you want to become a collaborator on this project, feel free to reach out. Whether you're a 3D artist, 2D concept artist, or just want to make your voice heard and share your ideas, you can find my email on the About section of my YouTube channel. But for now, let's get into the video. With the intro out of the way, let's get into the video at hand. So I'm so hyped to be able to showcase this this brand new piece of equipment. What do I call it? This brand new beautiful model, this vessel. She a beaut. I don't know if you can hardly see it in the work that I'm doing now, but there's gonna be a render at the end of the video that I know is gonna look good for sure. And this is a merchant's ship. This is a whole trading vessel. Modeled by DaPika2. Really hyped to be able to show off their work here. I think it's beautiful. I think it's, I don't know, man. Like, it's cool that this is something I think about, like, within just, like, the scope of what I'm usually doing on the project, is I'm not taking a fine brush and really creating, like, small, polished areas. You know, I'm usually, you know, painting with a very light brush, a very wide light brush. That's usually my approach to modeling, and it's just cool to see, like, here's like a whole finished asset that looks polished. It looks perfectly like it's part of the original game. That's how I felt receiving the Temple of Time model as well. You know, it's so cool to be able to just like see this, and it totally scratches that itch, and it makes me feel like, oh, like this feels like another new Wind Waker model. It feels like it was ripped straight from the original game. And I love it. I love the personality that it has, and this is I'm happy to be able to show off the work that DaPika did, and excited to hopefully show off more work in the future. So I don't know, like I think that this project like requires both, right? And I think that definitely like a part of my creative strength is being able to like think about a lot of locations at once and manage that in my head. And I think that requires necessarily saying, okay, I'm not going to go crazy on this location. I'm not going to go crazy polishing it yet. I'm just going to like polish as I go, you know. That's just like, that's kind of what it requires to do a project this big. You know, I can't spend too much time in the micro stuff. You know, I have to look at everything, and I enjoy that, and I do enjoy that, and I do, like, I look forward to, like, as the project goes on, I'll be able to narrow my vision more and more and more, and get more and more specific, and create more and more detail. And I'm excited to keep doing that. And I've already seen instances where I've started to get to do that a little bit, and that's excited me. But there is still a lot of like macro stuff to work on as well. So it's definitely at this point in the project, you know, it's mostly macro stuff, I feel like, and creating the mountains themselves and figuring all that stuff out, the actual geology, right? And that's exciting, and I'm excited to, like, I don't know, like that's not something that, like, that phase of the project will shift. You know, like, I definitely think there have been phases to Wind Waker Unflooded, and I think it's, I'm sure, like, if you've been watching the channel, you can notice phases of, like, okay, like, he's actually gotten, like, this stuff done, he's not worrying about that anymore. You know, like, you know, it's, and there will be a time when I'm not worried about the general topography anymore, but I'm more worried about the detail, right? I'm getting more specific, and I'm excited to get into that. And keep moving forward and see how the project will shift, and will that bring up new questions. I just think that'll be interesting. I think that'll be interesting, and I enjoy working on it. I have a lot of fun with this project. I hope you enjoy watching it and I enjoy showing it off, and I enjoy like being able to talk about it and ask questions. So I mean, yeah, like, you know, thank you so much for watching the channel and engaging with that. I just always have to thank you for being there through the process. I don't know, before I keep rambling though, I do think it's time for a short message, so I will talk to all of you again after the break. See you then.
If you want to be able to support me as a creator, there's several ways that you can do that. Become a member on Patreon. It gives you access to exclusive bonus features and early access content in all of my filmmaking projects. Stuff like early access to scripts that I'm writing, storyboards, previs, rough cuts, and music that I compose. I'm a composer, and any music that you've heard in the background of this video was my music. So go to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to music and type in Joe Kendrick. That's JoeKendrick. Look up Joe Kendrick on Spotify.
Yeah, and we're back. I just always have to let you know how you can support me as a creator. I don't make any ad revenue on the videos. If you saw an ad on the video, it's because YouTube put it there. This project is completely not monetized for me. So that is something that is important to me. And if you want to be able to support me as a creator, those are all meaningful ways that you can contribute. So thank you to everyone who's already a Patreon member. That means the world. But yeah, I mean, I want to keep talking about this ship here, because this is something that I feel like is really going to open up the doors. And I don't know, maybe this doesn't seem like a big deal to all of you, but it's like now that I have a reference for the size of a ship, already I've been spending some time in the modeling time-lapse for this video. And it's not like an incredible, it's not like there was an incredible lot of work done in the time-lapse, but it's like with that in mind, I'm now able to kind of fix the actual width of these rivers now that I actually know how big a ship is. And that can inform how big the docks are. Then I can start to add those kinds of details. Fixing the rivers, adding docks, those are like tangible things. And working on the beach areas around the river. These are all things that I feel like are now a little bit more possible with this ship in mind. So I'm thankful to be able to work on this. And I think it's going to be so cool. Like, Lon Lon Ranch is kind of getting an upgrade, right? Like, you see that in the corner of this video, and now it's kind of on the banks of this new river leading to the castle lake. And I think that that's going to be such a cool view, right? To be on the ranch and, you know, ships are passing by in this nearby river. Like, I think that's just a cool kind of position for it to be in. I don't know, like, I think it's, I love this area here. I'm excited to, I don't know, like, it's like, I'm not the greatest modeler, and I'm not going to pretend to be, but I do think that there are things here already that are tapping into, you know, into beauty for me. These things excite me, and yeah, like, I'm not going to pretend to be the best modeler. You know, I'm working with much better modelers, and I'm very thankful to all of my contributors for you know, raising the quality of this project even higher. I mean, like I said, it's like I usually am just worrying about the wide but light brush, you know, in theory, right? Like low detail, but lots of areas. Like that's usually the way that I've been worrying about the project right now. But yeah, I'm just excited to like keep turning this into a more and more fully fledged world that you can look at, and, you know, just like every time you look at it, it gets a little more and more complete. And I'm just excited to keep visualizing that and keep being able to make it feel more and more real. And I guess just like comment down below if there's any other ideas you have. And now that there's a ship and a trading vessels, comment down below if there's any other types of transportation you'd like to see. I've been adding trains to the world. I have no shame about that. I think that those are going to add a lot. But also, yeah, comment down below if there's any other kind of boats you think that would be cool. Would you like to see like a royal kind of barge? You know, a pleasure ship? Would you like to see, you know, like I think, you know, Caligula had like that like city on the water, right? Kind of design. I think that's a really cool inspiration that could be cool to see. Or Navy ships, you know, like I think like this is a project that is open to so many different possibilities. And I know that there are those that have commented like, you know, you mainly are here just to see like extrapolating from the islands themselves. What is Wind Waker Unflooded? But I think the project, just out of necessity, also demands creativity. It's not just extrapolating from what the islands are and turning them into the mountains. It's figuring out what is this world, and, you know, using my own point of view to expand on that, and using y'all's ideas as well. I really have enjoyed how much of a community experience this has been, being able to share this with y'all. But yeah, just once again, thank you so much for DaPika for this ship contribution. Just really wanted to show it off. And I think this render at the end will be helpful for showing it off. I don't know, I think the ship is beautiful, so thank you so much again for contributing it. But yeah, I think for now I'm going to start wrapping up the video. I've already told you how you can support me as a creator, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but do remember to listen to Joe Kendrick on Spotify. That you know, I'm just saying, if you've heard any music in this video, it was my music, so, you know, don't forget that. But anyway, for now, I'll let you go.